I mean like SmackDown versus Raw style, standing on the top of the table, just falls backwards, right? The camera work on point. Holy shit. It looked like he fucking died. Hello and welcome to the Wrestle Ramble, the podcast that discusses WCW in the year 2000. I'm your host, Angelus Walker, better known as Cyber Angelus X over on YouTube, but you can call me AJ for short. In the last episode, we covered Thunder from February 16th, 2000, which was the go-home episode for tonight's edition of SuperBrawl. Now, not too much happened in that episode, but it had a couple of good moments, honestly. Jeff Jarrett made both Kevin Nash and Terry Taylor eat a guitar. That was pretty cool, not gonna lie. Norman Smiley had the fuck choke slammed out of him through a table off of the apron, courtesy of my boy The Wall. That was, that was mean. That was real mean. Hulk Hogan made arrangements for the Total Package and Elizabeth to be buried next to each other. Hulkamania 2000 is just going crazy, apparently. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. So if you haven't listened to that episode, give that a listen after this. You're not going to regret it. But honestly, the show itself might have been a little lackluster, but hey, you know, help a fellow out here, give it a listen after this. I'm having a great time watching these episodes, though. It's been really fun, and I'll be getting into Nitro after this episode, which is, compared to that last episode, oh man, that's some exciting stuff. I'm really happy that I've added Nitro onto the list, at least for a little bit. I'm testing it out, seeing how you guys react, seeing if I enjoy the show itself, because, I was enjoying what I was watching with Thunder, and I figured, why not? I haven't really seen anything from WCW at that point in time. So if it's good, let's add it onto the list. So that last episode was kind of like a test pilot, so to speak. I want to run through a couple more episodes and we'll go from there. What a past couple weeks in wrestling, huh? Oh my goodness. The Rock is with Roman Reigns, bitch slapping Cody Rhodes. That was crazy, man. I'm actually really interested to watch the WrestleMania press conference. I still haven't watched it. I know. And I have a couple other things that I'm going to touch base on here in a little bit, but that's on my to watch list. It looked really interesting. And I'm surprised that I actually haven't went back and watched it so far, because I actually started to keep up with WWE a little bit, and I surprised myself because I haven't watched WWE really in a couple of years. And so I figure, I'd give it a try. I'd watch a couple episodes here and there, see what it was about. And the more I watched it, the more I was saying to myself, okay. This is actually kind of interesting now, because I stopped watching around maybe 2019. I think Hell in a Cell 2019 was my last WWE pay-per-view that I watched. And so I'd been out of the game for a little bit, but I gave it a second chance. Slowly but surely, for a while, I would just watch a few episodes here and there every other couple of months. But here recently, I found myself really starting to have a little bit more of an interest of it. And the storylines are actually really good. The presentations, I'm really loving. Everything from the entrances, like with the pyro, the staging, all of it looks top tier. So presentation is mwah, chef's kiss. And the storylines, man, they're actually really good. And I was like, okay, I might be cooking with grease a little bit over here, okay? I'm really interested to see where all these storylines, like with Roman and Cody, and then Cody and The Rock, and Seth Rollins and everybody else. It's fucking bonkers, okay? What else have we got here? Sting and Darby Allin beating Ricky Skaggs and Big Billiam for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, and then getting their ass handed to them by the Young Bucks. I caught the last bit of that episode. That was crazy. Woo. I'm really interested to see where that rivalry goes. AEW Big Business was announced. We might see Mercedes Moné, regardless of whether it's with AEW or maybe she goes and do something else in Japan, just maybe like with TJPW, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, The gameplay trailer for 2K24 dropped, and that looks fun as hell. I bought 2K23 last year, and I played for a good while, but 2K24, hey look, we got ambulance matches returning, casket matches, special guest referees, you can throw weapons, the graphics look insane, there are super finishers, you can play as Muhammad Ali, just inject it in my veins. I need it now. I need 15 cc's of 2K24 injected stat. It looks fun as fuck, and I'm gonna get my hands on it as soon as I can. As soon as I have the money for it, you better believe I'm picking me up a copy of that. That looks fun. I can't wait to play that. And I can't wait to play it on the Steam Deck too. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I love the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck has really reinvigorated my love of gaming, and now my only issue is I have so many options from all the different platforms. I really don't even know what to play. I really enjoy doing all this though. I enjoy playing the wrestling games on the Steam Deck. I enjoy this little segment that I've added in here in the beginning of the episodes, this little wrestling news recap thing I got going on here. I might have to keep this going as a segment. I don't know. We might have to maybe refine it a little bit, change some things here and there, but that's neither here nor there. I'll figure that out in a later episode. Continuing on though, my boy Jay Malachi was on Level Up for NXT, and I think he actually made his NXT debut. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if the episode has gone live yet. It might be coming up here soon, but I believe he made his debut for NXT, now going by Javon Evans, so congratulations to him. I'm proud to see how far that he's come, and working the shows with him at Firestar, and just knowing the level of professionalism that he has. And the kid is an absolute star, and I'm absolutely excited to see where he will go with the WWE. Great things with that. So congratulations to Javon, and I hope that he sets the wrestling world on fire. Scott D'Amore isn't the TNA president anymore, and that makes Jack a sad boy. I'm still going to watch TNA just because I want to see the direction that they go in. I saw that the No Surrender pay-per-view happened. Mustafa Ali, I saw captured the X Division Championship. Congratulations to him. I still want to see that match between Sabin and Ali. Moose and Shelley went for the World Championship. Jordan Grace and Giselle Shaw for the Knockouts Championship. TNA Bayou Blast was announced. The Elimination Chamber happened. I actually just got done watching that not too long ago. Rhea Ripley retained the Women's World Championship in the main event. Fantastic matchup. Great show. Honestly, as a whole, congratulations to Rhea Ripley on retaining the Women's World Championship. So much happened on that Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I'm not going to go through every single match, but I would actually recommend going and watching the Elimination Chamber and checking that out if you have not already. Drew McIntyre won the Chamber match, so he'll be going on to face Seth Rollins for the World Championship. And we're rocking and rolling down the way to WrestleMania, baby. We are hot on the road to WrestleMania. That is for sure. I've been watching AAA, like I said, just a couple of shows here and there, and I think I might check that out. Honestly, it seems to be something that's kind of piqued my interest a little bit, and so I might watch a couple of more shows, and I actually followed them on Instagram to keep up with them, and so we'll see what happens with that. Nick Nemeth and Matt Riddle won gold over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, I saw. Congratulations to them. The boys are out there capturing gold. I actually worked as a cameraman for DCW over in Selma a couple of weeks ago. It was DCW Reborn. Thank you to DCW and AC Divine for inviting me out and allowing me to be a part of that show. I got to see Zuka King be crowned the first DCW World Champion, and that belt, it's looking pretty nice. I'm just saying, it's looking real good. Brutality Inc. became the Brutality Inc. became the DCW World Tag Team Champions. It's just a great time to be a wrestling fan. Honestly, there's so much happening. You cannot go wrong. And I've enjoyed really getting back into it. And it started slow, but once I got going, I got going. I've watched a couple of shows over the last couple of days. Man, it's been real excited. I've had a lot of fun getting back into wrestling, and I haven't really been into wrestling in this kind of way since probably 2019. And I feel like I took a break from wrestling for a while because I burnt myself out on it. I was just consuming so much of it, and that was the only thing that I was doing, so I just burnt myself out on it, and I didn't watch wrestling for the longest time, and slowly but surely, I've been getting back into it, company by company, watching it here and there, having breaks in between watching it. That's been a critical thing, as to what I feel really led to me getting back into it in this manner. But slowly but surely, my interest started to build back up in it. And I have to say, this is the most wrestling that I've consumed in a long time. And I've been enjoying every single bit of it. But that was a lot, okay? That was a lot. I know. I'm sorry. But we're going to switch gears really quick. Before we get into the rest of today's episode, I want to send a special shout out to W Energy and Glitch Energy for fueling the podcast today and keeping us energized. I'll have my review coming up for W Energy. I'm actually going to make my order today, and I'll have that coming in, and I'll have a review that'll be up. And I'll actually be reviewing Glitch very shortly after as well. Now, as someone that's constantly working wrestling shows, making YouTube videos, creating the podcast, going to my day job, or working on my IT projects, making sure that I have the proper energy levels is critical. And with Glitch Energy and W Energy, I can stay fueled up and working on those projects, and I don't have to worry about that crash or anything like that I might get from a Monster or from a NOS or from a Full Throttle, which, hey, I love me a Blue Full Throttle now. I'm just saying, they're good every now and again. I'll demolish me. I'll fuck up a 6-pack of Blue Throttle every now and again. But that's neither here nor there. With Dubby and Glitch, I don't have to worry about that crash afterwards. And so I can stay fueled up and stay working on my projects for as long as I need to. Visit w.gg and glitchenergy.com. Use code WrestleRamble for 10% off on both respective sites. And thank you to W and Glitch Energy for partnering with us here at the Wrestle Ramble. And now for something a little different. Now in today's episode, go ahead, crack those cold ones because Saturdays are for the boys. And with that being said, let's jump into WCW SuperBrawl from February 20th. 2000. I pulled up the show and I immediately remembered this poster. I immediately remembered it because I remembered hearing Deadlock talk about it. I heard them talk about it a few years ago because I remember I was working as an Amazon driver at the time, and I remember just cracking my ass up for most of my delivery routes because of the absolute foolishness that they were talking about. Okay, so the poster for this show, The poster for this show is Booker T pretty much having his way with the big gold, right? With the World Heavyweight Championship. Booker T is not even in the match for the World Heavyweight Championship tonight. This man, Booker T, is not even in this match, and yet he is whispering sweet nothings to the World Heavyweight Championship on the poster. Now, I've been drinking up to this point, and so we're already off to a great start. I'm already having a good time. I laughed for a good 10 minutes on this. Like, this was just the funniest thing. And the fact that I immediately tied it to Deadlock. And Deadlock is one of the reasons why I actually started this podcast. Made it all the more funny. Like, great start already. 10 out of 10. Going through the opening, Terry Funk says Ric Flair wouldn't make a decent sized pimple on his ass. Oh, insane fucking line. The Total Package wants to beat up Hulk Hogan, and yes, they cover the triple threat main event, and they have a smooth ass transition to a crowd shot. Really like that. That was beautiful. So we're live from the Cow Palace in San Francisco. Tony Schiavone, Mark Madden, and Mike Tenay are on commentary. And we go to Mean Gene looking to interview Kevin Nash. We have a whole herd of women here just coming out of the office. Just, you would think that Target was going out of business. Jeff and the Harris boys are here too. Jeff says he just rang Kevin Nash's bell like a Quasimodo, but never fear, the acting commissioner is here. And he lifts the ban on the Harris boys. What the fuck? Yeah, I guess. Sure. Whatever you say, Jeff. Down to commentary now. Mark's mic is fucking up because, yes, that's what we do here. What kind of PlayStation 1 matchup graphics is going on here, man? We are moving at 10 frames a second. I kid you not. Commentary, though, runs down what we can expect to see on tonight's card. The music from this sounds so 2000 it hurts. And tonight is as follows. Sid versus Jeff versus Scott Hall for the World Heavyweight Championship. Hulk Hogan versus the Total Package. Terry Funk versus Ric Flair in a hardcore death match. Lash LaRue versus the artist formerly known as Prince Iaukea. Bam Bam Bigelow versus Brian Knobbs. 3 Count versus Norman Smiley in a handicap match. The Wall versus the Demon. The the Paisans versus David Flair and Crowbar in an Italian stretcher match. Big T versus Booker Don't Call Him T. And Kidman Don't Call Him Billy versus Vampiro. Apparently, James Brown is here, and I'm not entirely sure that I believe that, but we'll touch base on that when we get to the match. First up, we're going to crown a new Cruiserweight champion. And we get a video package detailing the history as to how we got here with Oklahoma vacating the championship belt. Lash comes out first, and commentary calls him a Lashador. What? His name... So Prince Iaukea comes out, and his nameplate is just an acronym. They didn't even spell it out. But he's here now, Paisley. This music is a choice, and I continue to say that on each and every episode, and I will continue to say that on each and every episode, because, oh my god, WCW themes are a world apart, and that is putting it mildly. Paisley gets a microphone. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. She says, the prince thanks everyone for supporting his creative endeavors, or something to that effect. Mark Madden says, shouldn't she be showing her cleavage or something? This is pay-per-view after all. Sir? This show just started. It's too early for your tomfoolery. Don't start with your foolish ways. My Trying to rewind Peacock on Fire Stick, by the way, is a absolute hemorrhoid on my ass. Speaking of my ass, Lash smacks the ass of Paisley. Oh, wait, my ass? Wait, what? Speaking of ass, Lash... Wait. I misread that. Speaking of my ass, what does my ass have to do with it? My ass wasn't spanked. Speaking of ass, I'm so sorry. Lash LaRue fucking smacks the ass of Paisley. And Prince Ikea says, bitch. Oh, hell no. I'm so sorry the show is the way that it is. So Prince Ikea takes him down with a snap mirror. Paisley kicks Lash LaRue in the chest while she's making her way out of the ring. And Prince has him down and he just whoops his ass for a little bit. Whew, okay. I'm able to rebound now. That took me out for a second. Lash eats a super kick from Prince Ikea. Lash then dives over the ropes on Prince because he's able to rebound. Lash goes for a sunset flip and it looks like Prince either grabbed the belt or grabbed the wiener of the referee. I have no idea. It looked like he grabbed his wiener. I'm just being real. Okay? It looked like Prince grabbed the wiener. What a sentence. It looked like he grabbed him by the wiener. Paisley is just hanging out on the apron because why not? Lash sends Prince into the corner and he sets him up on the top rope and he goes for a Frankensteiner, but it looked like he got a little bit too high and he couldn't grip Prince. But apparently Paisley held on to Prince's arms. I couldn't really see it from that angle. So bravo to the camera crew on WCW because at first glance, I completely missed that. Paisley holds on to Prince's arms. Prince comes off the second rope, hits his DDT and wins, and Prince Ikea is your new Cruiserweight champion. She crawls to him, referring to Paisley, I mean. She crawls to him and, again, like I said last time, what a weirdo. Next up, Norman Smiley apparently has a rib injury after that chokeslam on Thunder, which I am not surprised. Norman got fucked by that chokeslam on Thunder. That was gnarly, man. If you have not seen that clip, I don't know if it's on YouTube. I might search it up. Actually, you know what? This is live research here on the podcast. We're searching it up. We're searching it up right now. Let's see if this is actually on YouTube. WCW, The Wall, Chokeslams, Norman Smiley. Boo, it's not on YouTube. I don't think the clip is on YouTube. Well, if you have Peacock, absolutely go to WCW Thunder from February 16th, 2000. Check that chokeslam out. Norman Smiley ate so much shit. He landed so bad. Like, oh my God, he folded his ass up like an accordion. But it was a cool shot, though. It was a cool shot. Norman got fucked up, but it was a cool shot. That's what matters. Next up, Mean Gene interviews Brian Knobbs, and he just yells a lot. Here's a door, by the way. It's literally the next shot. Here's this door. What about it? I don't know. It's just a door. There you go. Next up, it's hardcore title time. Bam Bam Bigelow is out first, and we get a couple of highlights from Nitro. Bam Bam won the belt from Fit Finlay after he apparently hit Brian Knobbs with a chair and did a fast count. So Knobbs is not too happy with that. Knobbs' music does not say hardcore at all and is quite frankly a whole bunch of ass. Every single bit of the ass. Next up, we get a couple of highlights from when the Total Package broke Brian Knobbs' arm. TP has just been going on a rampage, breaking fools' arms apparently. He's just absolutely going crazy. Fit Finlay is here, helping Brian Knobbs, apparently. Okay. So the match begins, and we're just automatically going fucking head over heels with the crazy. We're over by the internet set. And then we make our way back into the backstage area. Bam Bam slams Brian Knobbs through a table. Knobbs tells Finlay to let him do it by himself because, there's some things that a man just has to do by himself. And one of those things is win the Hardcore Championship. Headed back to the ring now. Knobbs grabs a table and he sets it up in the corner. He tries to go for a running bulldog, but Bam Bam Bigelow pushes him off and tosses his ass into the table. Bam Bam hits greetings from Asbury Park. He grabs a steel chair and he goes up to the top rope with it. He throws it at Finlay. Knobbs uses the ropes to knock Bam Bam off. And then he hits him in the back of the head with the cast that he has on. And then just for good measure and because fuck you, he hits him with a trash can lid. And we have a new Hardcore Champion. Next up, we have Nature Boy, Total Package, and Elizabeth backstage. Security is wild here. Security says that I don't care if you're the president, you are not getting into the locker room of these main event guys here tonight. These boys are crazy. They are on some goddamn national security type shit. They are taking their job so seriously. They will not fuck around and they will not hesitate to put every single one of their boots in your ass if you try and get into either Sid Vicious, Jeff Jarrett, or Scott Hall's locker room. Forgot who was in the fucking match. 3 Count is out next. Evan Courageous says, "We're not here to sing," and the crowd cheers. Norman comes out next, and we're showing a highlight of the chokeslam from Thunder. Beautiful chokeslam. Just, that's hot. That's hot. Match begins, and Norman sends Shannon flying over the top rope to the outside with a big back body drop where he lands on Shane Helms and Evan Courageous. Shane goes for a flying something off the top rope, and he lands like a fucking long dart and damn near breaks his neck. Like, I kid you not. Big swing on Shane from Norman, though. Norman goes for a big wiggle behind Shane. Evan runs in, and then they dance for a second. Norman big wiggles, ducks a line, and then double clotheslines both Shane and Evan. Good exchange right here. I like this. 3 Count, though, rebounds, and they attack the damaged ribs. They hit various aerial maneuvers. Shannon locks in the Lion Tamer, and Norman taps out. Here's this door again. Why do you care about it? I don't know. Just know you should. Jeff Jarrett tells the Harris boys to fuck off and find out who's behind the door. Is it bad that I don't care? There's a special main event, apparently. What do you mean by special main event? What does that mean? So the Demon is here. What a fucking jabroni. The Wall's music plays, but he's MIA, and I don't blame him, because I wouldn't want to face the Demon either. The Demon goes up to the entryway, and the Wall attacks. Sneak attack. Take this dude out, man. I'm absolutely pulling for the Wall here. Mark Madden says, "Have you seen the Love Gun yet?" Excuse me? The Demon goes up to the top rope. Wall grabs him and chokeslams him off. Oh, is that the end? Oh my god. Wall wins. Mean Gene is here with the cat, and he says, "Well, there's no James Brown here right now, but don't worry, he'll be here. I still feel like you're kind of bullshitting me, but we'll get to that later here in the show." The Harris boys go up to the door, and they try to open it in the least fucking normal way possible. They say, "Open the door," and then they say, "Let's go get a piece." Huh? What do you mean, get a piece? What the fuck? We're murking fools on SuperBrawl, apparently. We get a Tank Abbott video package. Mark Madden wanted them to beat each other with golf clubs or something, and honestly, I agree. Yes, please do that. Tank has some pretty good music, not gonna lie. I do enjoy his music. Compared to everybody else on the roster, this is top tier right here. They take a belt or something, tying their right hands together in the Arnold Carl style, from Predator. And then they just start fucking swinging away at each other. They just swing at each other in the head with their left hands. A forearm shot takes down Tank. Not too convincing, though. This kind of sucks, if I'm being honest. Tank gets back up, though, and starts whooping old dude's ass. Abbott carries Al on his back while climbing the ropes, and he drops Al, who takes a hard fucking fall to the outside. Tank gets down, says fuck you, and stomps him once for good measure, and then he goes back up, gets the jacket, and wins. He comes back down, and he has a fucking knife! Not even kidding, like a legit knife. He has a knife, and he says, I could fucking kill you, and then we just go to a wide shot. What the fuck was this? Was this a shoot? I feel like this was a shoot. I'm gonna have to do some research into this, but what the fuck was that? Over to Mean Gene now, who interviews Big T and Stevie Ray. Stevie says Booker doesn't know about watching somebody's back, and he says the person that used to watch your back might just show up in this match across the ring from Booker, and he doesn't really know how to treat somebody. Next up, we get a video package for this match. Big says to arrest that criminal, referring to Booker T. He says it was attempted murder and he's a killer. What? Over to Booker T now, who's being interviewed by Mean Gene, and he pretty much says that he's gonna whoop some ass tonight. Big T is out next with Biggs and Stevie Ray. Booker comes out to that horrible sounding schnitzel music. Mark Madden says if Malcolm X would have, what the fuck? I can't even fucking talk now. Mark Madden says if Malcolm X would have acted this way when they were younger, he would just be Malcolm and Harlem Heat would own the X. I had to take a second to read that. My slow ass. Oh my God. Okay. I had to take a second to read that. Woo. I had a whole moment because I could not figure out what I was trying to say in this note. Okay, so Mark Madden, this fool, oh sweet Jesus, he says if Malcolm X would have acted the way that Booker T is acting now, then he would just be Malcolm and Harlem Heat would own the X. Oh my God. Whoo! Next up, Stevie shoves Booker T as he's about to head out, and Booker says, you know what? I've had enough of your shit. Stevie Ray's over here talking trash. He shoves him on the way out. Talking shit with the glasses, by the way. Gotta have the glasses. He distracts Booker and Big T takes advantage. Stevie gets in front of the camera on the outside while he's taking his sunglasses off. And he says, that's what I'm talking about. And he has the funniest duck face that I have ever seen. Like the Twitter girl type shit or something. Funniest damn thing. And he makes this face so often, and I giggle like a schoolgirl every single time because I should put it on Twitter or something, just like a GIF or just like a screenshot of Stevie Ray making this face. Absolutely fucking funny. Booker is on the attack though, and he sends T out to the outside. Club and blow off the apron from Booker T to the back. Sends him back in though, catches him coming off the ropes, does he, with an Irish whip. That sends Booker into the ropes. Stevie grabs the leg of Booker T, and he takes a swing at him. T clotheslines him to the outside, though. Stevie gets a couple of shots in while Booker's on the outside. T goes to grab him, but Booker reverses into a Russian leg sweep. In the ring, Booker hits an axe kick and then the Harlem side kick. He takes out Biggs, who's trying to get into the ring. He hits a bookend. He takes Stevie down, who's trying to interfere. He hits a drop kick from the top, and then the lights go out. The bell tolls like the way Midnight does, and so I'm thinking, is Midnight about to show up? Or what's going on here? So the lights come back up and somebody's standing on the apron. Whoops, the fuck are you, sir? I have no idea who you are. I've never seen you before in my life. T attacks from behind, though, and he hits a double underhook powerbomb for the 3 count. Biggs grabs a microphone and says this is the new Harlem Heat Incorporated, and Booker will always just be Booker. Stevie looks at the camera, and apparently Ricky owes him some money, and so, you might want to get on with that, Ricky. And it's actually funny that I'm going back and seeing that the person that, whoever the fuck he was talking to, Ricky, it's funny because I've recently started watching Trailer Park Boys, and Ricky is absolutely fucking insane in that show. That boy is off his fucking rocker. But, Ricky, yeah, my man, you might want to get on that. You know, Stevie might still want his money. You know, you never know. But he makes a face again here. He makes a face. Why are you making this face, sir? Now we go backstage to Mean Gene, who's here to interview Maestro. Mean Gene's being horny with Symphony, but what else is new? Maestro says, let's make a wager. If the cat can produce James Brown here tonight, then he'll listen to his music. If not, then the cat has to be his lackey. So, I don't know. We'll see. Will James Brown actually show up here tonight? We'll just have to see. We'll cover that when we get to it. It's not too far away. Stay with me, though. So the Harris boys are bullying someone into opening this fucking door because fuck you. I'd bully you, you bitch. He says someone must have changed the locks. Then they start whooping this dude's ass. This poor guy. We get a video package for Kidman Don't Call Him Billy versus Vampiro up next. Kidman comes out and he doesn't have the stupid video camera. Hallelujah. No kid cam today. Kidman looks like a guy version of this girl Hunter that I know, and I am not okay with that. Side headlock from Kidman to start. Vampiro, though, gets the advantage off a tilt-a-whirl slam. It spills to the outside from a Frankensteiner, both individuals. Back in, though, Kidman goes up to the top rope. And Vampiro catches him and tosses him off for 2. WCW actually had really good video packages. I'm just sitting here and I'm watching through this again, the video package for Kidman versus Vampiro. And they actually had a pretty good and detailed story and package for this. This is actually really good. I wonder when Kidman and Tori got together. I've really enjoyed the series of matches that Kidman and Vampiro have been in, whether it's tag team matches, going one-on-one with each other, or being in a 3-way dance, like say how they were on Thunder with the Wall. They've had really good series of matches, and their match here tonight at SuperBrawl was no different. Kidman reverses an Irish whip, and Vampiro slides underneath, but he gets him in an electric chair position. Kidman starts to spin around, and so now he's in Frankensteiner position, and Vampiro walks over to the ropes, and they spill over going to the outside. Irish whip from Kidman sends Vampiro into the guardrail on the outside. Kidman has him, and then he sends him back into the ring, and Kidman looks like he's going to make his way up to the top rope. Vampiro slowly but surely makes his way back up to his feet, and he catches Kidman giving him a shot, and then tosses him off the top rope. Vamp then goes for a cover and gets a 2 count. Headbutt from Vampiro stuns Billy Kidman and then follows it up with a stun kick, a snapmare, and then a kick to the back of the head. There's a sign in the crowd that says, I thought this was the WWF. Oh no. Vamp goes for a power bomb, but Kidman uses his momentum and flips through. Kick to the midsection from Kidman, and then he sends Vampiro off into the ropes. Vampiro, though, coming off the ropes, kicks the leg out from Kidman. Tori is trying to decide whether she wants to get on the apron or not. Tori gets on the apron, and a kick from Vampiro sends Kidman stumbling backwards into her, and she falls off the apron. Kidman tries to help her, but Vampiro says, fuck out of here with that. He goes to swing a chair, and Tori grabs it. Kidman then drop kicks it into his face. Pinfall inside for 2 by Billy Kidman. Kidman catches Vampiro with a short powerbomb for 2. Vamp goes up on the top rope and hits a kick to the back of the head. Vampiro trying to get up to the top rope, but Kidman has other ideas. He stuns him for a second, and then he hits a Frankensteiner off the top for a 2 count, which won their first match, but not enough to get the 3 count here. Vampiro power bombs Kidman, holds on, picks him back up, and then power bombs him again, but tosses his ass away this time, and it only gets a 2 count. That's still not enough. Vampiro then grabs Kidman, and he takes him over to the corner, and he sets him up on the top rope like he maybe wants to hit a nail in the coffin again, or a suplex or something, more than likely a suplex. But Kidman was able to fight it off, able to stun Vampiro for just a second, and then he grabs him, and he almost has him and hooks him in a scorpion death drop kind of position. So like he kind of floats over. I don't even know how to describe it, really. And that, honestly, that's the best way that even commentary describes it. It almost looked like a scorpion death drop or an inverted DDT from the top rope. But it's enough to get the 3 count for Kidman here, and he picks up the win. Sid comes out of his locker room, and the security guard says, "Hold on, where are you going?" Sid says, "Shut your fucking mouth. Take your bitch ass, go get Mean Gene, and bring him here." Security says, "Sir, yes, sir," and makes his way downtown walking fast. We're then shown Crowbar, David, and Daphne over here looking like a smurf on a stretcher, and they're making their way out to the ring. And then we get a video package for the upcoming stretcher match between the Mamalukes and David and Crowbar. Now, what is a Mamaluke exactly? I don't know. But apparently they want to be called the Paisans. What is a Paisan? You're asking the wrong fucking person. I have no idea. Gene is here to interview the Italian mob. Vito is still getting his Rocky on. And Vito's mom apparently doesn't want him to go through with the match. Apparently Vito has also spoken to Don Falcone. Apparently we're just here running Gotham too. We're just rocking and I'm telling you, these boys are the mob. They do not play around. They make motherfuckers sleep with the fishes. Italian style, Sicilian stretcher match, Cow Palace, here tonight. Johnny says that nobody makes him so upset that he can't eat his cheese sandwich. Nobody makes Johnny so upset he cannot eat his cheese sandwich. It is pivotal that Johnny eats his cheese sandwich. The worst dub music ever for David Flair and Crowbar. I have no idea what the music is that they had for this, but yeah, that ain't it, Chief. That's not the one. That's not the one at all. But we're showing highlights from Nitro, and it's just David and Crowbar just whooping everybody's ass with these lead pipes from Valentine's Day. That was the Valentine's edition of Monday Nitro. They just whooped the ass of not only Disco, but Vito, Johnny, the whole 9 yards. Everybody had pipes to ass. The mob make their way out to the ring now, and they get on the apron, but they get knocked off. Disco fever. Gotta give my man his props. Gotta give him his correct introduction. Disco joined the commentary team. And he says that he doesn't know what a Sicilian stretcher match is, and they tell him what the rules are, and it's just a stretcher match. Daphne screams at the camera. David sets Johnny up on a stretcher, and Crowbar slingshots from the ring to the outside with a cross body landing on him. David tries to push Johnny on the stretcher up the entryway, but Vito stops him. The Italian mob grab the stretcher and just ram Crowbar and David. Back into the ring now. Daphne gets in and hits a Frankensteiner on Johnny, who immediately gets back up. Her wig goes flying, by the way. Disco tries to get in, and he gets sprayed in the eyes by Daphne. David Irish whips Vito into the guardrail. David and Crowbar toss Vito into a stretcher that's been leaning on the steel steps. Lion salt from Crowbar on Vito. He then heads to the outside and grabs a table. Disco says, "My eyes," and Mike Tenay says, "Who gives a shit about your eyes?" They're whooping each other's asses in the ring. Meanwhile, in the ring, Vito powerbombs Crowbar into a table that's leaning in the corner. Disco says, "Can I get some medical attention?" And commentary says, "No, shut up." Fuck you. And fuck you for asking. Johnny leaps up to the top rope. Crazy athleticism. Johnny is just built different, man. He literally leaps up to the top rope and then comes back down and hits a leg drop on David Flair. Crazy, man. I'm telling you, Johnny is just different. They then toss David out to the outside, and Vito grabs the stretcher. They set David up on the stretcher. Vito heads off camera for a second, and then he grabs some athletic tape, and they just tape David to the stretcher. Smart strategy, honestly. It's kind of hard to hate on that. David honestly looks like he absolutely could get free, but he just chooses not to. Meanwhile, back at the ring, the Paisans are trying to get on the apron, and Crowbar has a piece of broken table and charges him with it. He then slingshots himself out to the outside, landing on both Vito and Johnny. Disco holding his face because of the spray or whatever Daphne had. Even though he's already put water and shit in it, he's just walking around like, "My eyes!" But Crowbar goes underneath the ring and he grabs another table and he sets it up. He then grabs a trash can and just gloms Vito in the head. Gives Disco a shot because fuck you. But then Johnny comes up behind him with a lead pipe and just wham right to the back. And then just takes his fucking lunch money, just whoops his ass, giving him a little bit of a receipt from Monday Night Nitro over on February 14th, I think it was. Johnny then sets him up on the table, legit just deadlifts his ass and just sets him up. Vito climbs up to the top rope. Unsteady, very unsteady looking is Vito. Vito then comes flying off the top rope with a crossbody, putting Crowbar through the table. Daphne's screaming on the outside. Mark on commentary says, "Did she just scream my name?" They tape Crowbar to the stretcher. So they tape Crowbar to the stretcher and then they roll him about halfway up the rampway. They then turn around to redirect their attention towards Daphne to tape her to a wheelchair. And Tony Schiavone says, I think she's kind of enjoying this. Mark follows it up with, well, screaming is an indication usually that they're enjoying it, right? What the fuck? Mark says, is it just me or did they tape Daphne's breast? Get this man out of here, bro. Oh my God. Backstage to Jeff Jarrett and the Harris boys. Apparently Jeff Jarrett has a plan. Okay. I can't take the Harris brothers seriously. I just can't. I don't know why, but I giggle like a schoolgirl every time I see them. And I have no idea why, and I'm so sorry. I can't help it. Mean Gene interviews Sid Vicious. He says surprises are no surprises. What? He says he earned being here and belongs here and nothing will take it from him, even the man behind the mystery door. He says every man will be judged by him and he'll powerbomb everybody. The ugliest fucking dub music I have ever heard starts playing. More than likely, I'm gonna assume that the cat came out to some James Brown music and they just dubbed over it. But, oh my sweet Jesus. The ugliest music I have ever heard. What in the Seinfeld is this shit? And the cat, man, this is one weird looking dude. Like I said, I'm gonna assume that this is some James Brown music, but God damn, y'all did not do any favors for this dub. But the cat cuts a promo and he says him and James Brown are like neck bones in a pot, apparently. And that's on all the rednecks in the audience. That is for Trucity. He tells a lady to not get her fat ass up. And he told me, shut my fat ass up. But some music starts playing, and absolutely fucking not, James Brown is here. I don't know whom the fuck this is. This is like that enforcer dude from 2K16. That is absolutely 110% not fucking James Brown that just showed up here. But okay, whatever you say, whatever type of bullshit boulder dash this is, but okay. So then I noticed there's a white trash posse sign in the crowd. That's just Trailer Park Boys. Maestro storms out, and I agree. He says you're going to be strolling with Beethoven, and the cat says she's going to drive this red shoe in and out of Maestro's ass. Some music starts playing, and then holy shit, it's actually James Brown. James Brown is live at SuperBrawl 2000. I was low-key kind of shook. Like, to actually see James Brown here, hey, my man's, he got it. Him and the cat, they were juking and jiving, hitting that ooh, ah, in the ring. James, he still got him some moves. This goes on for some time, though. Like, legit, this goes on for quite a while. To the point where I was actually like, so, next segment? Question mark. Maestro passes out during this, though, and James honestly took his time coming out. For a second, I thought they were trying to bait me again, or bamboozle. Maestro is passed out. One of his guys holds the ropes down in the worst fucking way possible. The cat says, should we do it? And James says, let's turn it out. I don't know what that means, but okay. It looks like he's about to cut a whole ass promo, but the cat says, shut the fuck up and play our music. And they dance for several minutes. James Brown in WCW honestly is the craziest visual I have ever seen. Next up, though, Mean Gene interviews Scott Hall. He says he's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship here tonight. Next up, we're shown a Ric Flair versus Terry Funk video package, and it's showing Terry Funk whooping David Flair's ass all the way from Texas to North Carolina. We're then shown Mean Gene interviewing Ric Flair, and he says, Mean, woo, Gene. He owns San Francisco. He owns Terry Funk. He is Ric Flair, and he is the greatest, of all time. Now he says, let's get dirty, playa, Mark does a Ric Flair impersonation, and please don't ever do that again, sir. The rules are no disqualifications, no countouts, pinfalls don't count in the winning or losing of the match, but after every successful pinfall or submission, there will be a 10 count. And let's get fucking rumbling, boys. Let's do it. You want a collector's bear, bitch? We're shown a free WCW's collector's bear advertisement, and okay. That's so random. Next up, we have the hardcore match, and Terry Funk comes out first, and he's coming out alongside Dustin Rhodes. Seeing Ric Flair walk out, I'm just like, damn, I love this shit. They say on commentary that Terry Funk's dad had a death match that went 4 hours. Holy shit. Collar and elbow to start. Flair backs Funk into the corner twice. I like Rick's style, and I can't really explain that. And here in the early going, I feel like Dustin is going to turn on Terry. Punch and chop exchange in the corner between the two. Rick heads to the outside. Suplex back in from Terry to Rick. They're not in the ring for very long, though. They head back to the outside, actually, and have a scuffle out there. Funk suplexes Rick on the outside, and Rick comes down at a horrible fucking angle on his left knee. This fan, though, really wants you to know that Rick is a 14-time champion. So Flair chops Terry coming in, and then he tosses him over the barricade. Flair lines Terry up and then kicks him in the nads. He grabs a plastic chair and then he attacks the knee. There's a sign that says, "Where's Benoit?" Who's gonna tell? Rick locks in the figure 4 in the ring and Terry taps out. Mark says, "How about that last chop from Rick? I think one of Terry's nipples whizzed past my face." Shut up, bro. Flair goes up to the top rope. Flair comes right back down. Irish whip into the corner. Flair does his flip going over. Pile driver on Rick on the outside. Terry removes the match that's over in that area. They have a punch chop exchange again. Funk then pile drives Flair again, but he doesn't get it on the concrete. But he does get the 3 count, and he has just a second to rebound. Funk's chest is bleeding. Funk grabs a table and sets it up in the ring. Terry grabs a microphone and he asks Flair if he wants to quit. He hits him with the microphone, and then he says that he grabbed the table so he can break Ric Flair's neck like he did before. Oh my goodness. Hey, it's starting to get good. It's starting to get good because holy, what a pile driver. I mean, like SmackDown versus Raw style, standing on the top of the table, just falls backwards, right? The camera work on point. Holy shit. It looked like he fucking died. It looked like so much force coming down. The ref starts the pinfall. Terry raises Flair's arm, and then Terry gets another table. Rick, honestly, Rick doesn't move for a minute. Rick is down and out. Funk then heads to the outside, goes underneath the ring, and grabs another table. He brings it into the ring and he sets it up. But before he actually uses it, he goes into the pinfall, gets a 2 count, Ric Flair gets the shoulder up. Surprisingly, Funk puts Rick on the table, goes up like he wants to do the moonsault, but Flair is able to get up, clubs him from behind, and then Terry falls backwards through the table. Rick goes into the pinfall and gets the 3 count. At this point, Rick stands up at the last possible second, but goes back down as the referee is hitting his 10 count on Terry Funk. And there's no heel turn from Dustin? Boo. Nevertheless, Ric Flair is your winner. He defeats Terry Funk here in this hardcore death match. But no heel turn? Here's a door, dumbass. This is a really important door, apparently. Next we go to Mean Gene interviewing Hulkster himself, and he says typical Hulkster things. He's really fixated on taking Elizabeth out, though. He says he's gonna force feed Elizabeth down Luger's throat, and he says there's gonna be the transformation tonight, referring to himself as transforming from Hulk Hogan into Hollywood Hogan. And hey, look, Hulkamania 2000, we're a different breed, apparently. We just are in a different mindset. Hulkamania 2000 is all about murking fools, taking them out back, old Yeller style. We don't play no games around here. These hands are registered E for everybody. Michael Buffer is here, and he says, "Let's rumble, bitch." So we get the total package out first. Hogan then comes out. He hits the ring and attacks the total package. Buffer says, "I'm finishing my motherfucking intro. I don't care what you say. I'm finishing what I have to say." Hogan, though, tosses Luger out and rips his shirt off. You know, Hulk Hogan things. Hogan uses his shirt to choke the total package. Sends him face first into the guardrail. grabs a steel chair, and uses it directly in front of the ref because what are rules? I'm Hulk Hogan. Is this a no DQ match? I don't know. And I don't care. Mark Madden says, are we sure that Elizabeth is with the Total Package? She did used to be with Hulk Hogan after all. This match, honestly, is the definition of that one Simpsons gif where they're like, meh. It's just literally that. If I could put that to a wrestling match, that is this match. If you've seen one red and yellow Hogan match in WCW, you've seen this match before. Hogan signals to the crowd and goes off the ropes, but Elizabeth uses the bat from the outside. Hogan then goes after her, and the Total Package attacks from behind. Reversal on the Irish Whip from Hogan. Jimmy Hart takes the bat from Elizabeth. Hulk Hogan then sends the Total Package back inside, who catches Hogan coming back in underneath the ropes. Luger signals for the rack, but suplexes instead because fuck it. Hogan starts to hulk up. I just have a yawning emoji here. Next match. Big Boot takes down the Total Package. Jimmy Hart throws the weight belt to Hogan, who eats a low blow from the Total Package in front of the ref, but never mind that. Luger is then sent off the ropes, and Jimmy Hart hits him in the back with a cast. Hogan then nails the Total Package in the head with his cast, and then hit to leg drop for the 3 count. Hogan then grabs the weight belt and then whips the torso and the back of the Total Package. Ric Flair comes out and attacks Hogan. Flair and the Total Package attack Hogan and Jimmy Hart. Sting is here, and he runs down. Sting attacks both the Total Package with the bat and Ric Flair. Hogan and Sting shake, and this is similar to my initial thoughts with seeing Hulk Hogan for the first time. Seeing Sting in 2000, I have no idea, man. It just feels like such a fever dream. Well, next up, we see Scott Hall leaving from the locker room. We see Sid Vicious leaving from the locker room, and we see Jeff Jarrett and the Harris Boys leaving from theirs as well. We're then transitioned into a video package detailing the main event for tonight's show. Next up, we see that the door is open, but whoever was in there isn't in there anymore. Michael Buffer once again says, it's time to rumble, baby. Next up, we're treated up to the chosen one who is first out, Bluegrass Edition. Mike says, repping the NWO, but Jeff isn't wearing any NWO colors, and nothing in his Tron says that he's affiliated with the NWO. So, what? Scott Hall then makes his way out to the ring, and Jeff gets in and tries to sneak attack him, but Hall fights him off. The referee calls for the bell, even though Sid hasn't made his entrance yet, but fuck it, we don't need the champion for this match. Stranger things have happened in WCW. But Sid eventually makes his way out to the ring. They try to double team Sid, but he fights them both off. Jeff and Scott Hall are outside now, and they're trying to regroup. The Harris Boys grab Sid's legs and wrap him crotch first around the ring post. Jeff Jarrett and Sid Vicious exchange strikes. The ref goes down already, and I kid you, it is not even 5 minutes into this match. I swear to God, this match is 5 minutes old, if not less than that. So, low blow from Jeff Jarrett on Scott Hall. Double clothesline takes them both down from Sid Vicious. Double chokeslam for 2 from Sid, Double chokeslam from Sid for a 2 count. We have another referee now. Nick Patrick is out here, actually, to replace Billy Silverman. One of the Harris brothers grabs Jeff Jarrett and pulls him to the outside. Jeff grabs the World Heavyweight Championship, nails Sid Vicious with it, who kicks out at 2. Well, Jeff doesn't fucking like that, and so he shoves Nick, who then shoves him back, and he says, I don't take any of that shit. Scott Hall then tries to roll up Jeff Jarrett for a 2 count. Jeff then gets back up, and he fucking hits the stroke on the referee. But before he does that, he takes Scott Hall down with the strike, so he's incapacitated for a second. He hits the stroke on Nick Patrick, and the referees are just dropping like flies, man. One of the Harris brothers is on the apron with a steel chair. Charles Robinson is now making his way down to the ring. This is our third referee in 5 minutes, by the way. I just want you to keep track. Third ref. Barely 5 minutes into this match. Jeff Jarrett tries to send Sid Vicious into the chair, but Sid reverses it and shoves him into it. Sid goes to the outside, and Scott Hall drapes his arm over Jeff Jarrett for a 2 count. Sid takes out the Harris boys on the outside with a steel chair. Scott Hall goes for the outsider's edge, but Jeff shoves the ref away and tosses Scott Hall off of him. Jeff hits the stroke on Charles Robinson. Mickey J comes down and immediately gets attacked and stroked by Jeff Jarrett. And at this point in my notes, I'm just like, enough with the fucking referees already. Just, please, for the love of God, stop. Because at this point, we have gone through 4 referees. 4 referees, and then finally, Slick Johnson comes prancing down to the aisle. Scott Hall hits the outsider's edge on Jeff Jarrett. Slick gets into the ring, hits 1, hits 2, and then pretends to be hurt so he can't do the 3 count. Sid says this is bullshit. Jeff gets the guitar from one of the Harris boys and gloms Scott Hall over the head with it. He then goes into a pinfall attempt, but Roddy Piper makes his way out to the ring. And what happened to your arm, sir? So Slick Johnson starts to count, and Roddy Piper stops him. He punches Slick Johnson right in his shit. And then Jeff shoves Hot Rod, who pokes him in the eyeballs, who then turns around into a choke slam from Sid Vicious. Sid then signals to the crowd that he's going to go for the powerbomb. He grabs Scott Hall, hits the powerbomb, and then Roddy Piper counts down the 3 count. 6 referees for this match. Holy shit. 6 referees in probably, 10 minutes? If that? Good God, what a way to end the show. What a SuperBrawl pay-per-view. Honestly, it was actually a pretty good show. I'm not gonna lie, I liked this a lot more than I liked Sold Out from January. And I like the fact that a lot of the storylines are continuing on, because I do want to see what happens with Billy Kidman versus Vampiro. Even though he is a little bit of a pain in the ass and a little bit of, a little annoying, just a wee bit. Jeff Jarrett, I'm interested to see what's going on with his storyline and his pursuit of the World Heavyweight Championship. The rivalry between Booker T and Stevie Ray and the rest of Harlem Heat. And even Prince Iakea winning the Cruiserweight Championship tonight. I saw a lot of good stuff. I would definitely recommend checking out this SuperBrawl 2000 pay-per-view if you have not checked it out before. Maybe it's been a little bit since you've last watched it, or maybe you're new to WCW like I am and you're just wanting to go through and see some pretty alright wrestling. I definitely would give SuperBrawl 2000 a recommendation. But that is going to do it for this episode of the Wrestle Ramble. I thank you all so much if you have made it all the way through. If you could just do me a real quick favor and maybe leave a rating for the podcast, maybe leave a review, as all of that does help us get into a bigger and broader audience. If you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, it is CyberAngelusX, as I said at the top of the episode. I'm currently playing through Grand Theft Auto 3, the Definitive Edition on mobile, and once I get through with that, I will be making a switch over, and I will be playing Red Dead Redemption on the Steam Deck. The very first one, and I'm so excited for that. So, once again, thank you all so much, and if you have not checked out W Energy or Glitch Energy, I will leave links to that in the description down below. You can check that out. Use code WrestleRamble. You'll get 10% off of your respective order on those sites. We thank you so much for helping us out with everything here on the Wrestle Ramble. And thank you again if you have made it all the way through to the ending of this episode, because I know it is a little bit of a long one, but Hey, the show was 2 hours and 49 minutes, we got to brace ourselves for a little bit of a long one sometimes, That's just the pay-per-view game. But thank you all so much for joining us, and we hope to see you all once again right here on the Wrestle Ramble podcast.